firing as well.
Wow.
The Magnus game
How
is still
crazy
in
was
progress. He really needs this result here. The king is being chased down, being hunted here, but there's just no checkmate.
Super annoying. That is one of the annoying things about the Mar del Plata is if white does get his king running, it's no mate. Usually, especially when he
remember
when
queen
you
g8 was a threat, so you had to play king back to g7 in order to play on. Magnus will be in a slightly worse position if the queens and rooks trade off the board. It's all about delivering the right check. Queen to a4 is the idea. Queen c4 covers. We might see rook to f2 here. No, white is doing a really good job, Martirosyan, holding the balance here. Magnus's bishop is not part of the action right now. It's a very bad piece.
It's terrible, actually. But also the time is for both of them. This is a time scramble. Rook g3 trying to take on f3. Fabi in the background. Wesley on the other side.
He's holding the balance really nicely. The bishop, again, is not in the game. If that bishop was participating, making some threats.
Whoa!
Magnus again with a slip.
What happened?
He can't set up any pieces here. What on earth is happening? Magnus has no control of the pieces. Every single piece just tumbled. Even trying to set them back up, he knocked more pieces down.
And Haik, Martirosyan, talking to the arbiter about,
Martirosyan
is
he's right to be a bit incredulous here because it's not just one piece. Even setting the pieces up, we knocked more pieces down. Now, this is at least a better situation for Magnus because they didn't fall off the table and he didn't run out of time setting them up. But I think it was actually Martirosyan who perhaps paused the clock there. And now the arbiters are discussing what they're going to rule. Obviously, some penalty for Magnus. It was unclear to me because it looks like Magnus hit the clock, if I see it correctly, with like 6 pieces down.
I'm not sure what it was, actually. 2 as well. I mean, maybe he's trying to move his rook to, something with rook g2. Maybe that was obviously a transmission error, but there's just a lot going on. A lot going on there in that fumble.
So for sure, it's an obvious infraction. You cannot hit the clock with pieces not on their proper squares. Like you can't complete your move in a, let's say, illegal position. So there's something that needs to occur here. But Martirosyan is understandably, a bit confused because he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like he's hit the clock, so my time's ticking, and there's no pieces on their proper squares. But Magnus is probably saying, well, I had a traumatic experience yesterday not hitting the clock, so he's definitely going to hit the clock and take whatever punishment they see fit.
Yeah, and we're actually going to see right now. He's like, yeah, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that. So we got to make sure, you can't do that again, bro. Come on. So I don't know what the penalty would be, though, because he had no time.
Based on the faces, I'm wondering if they're saying that this is a loss. If I'm reading facial expressions, that seems like the discussion. Magnus doesn't seem particularly pleased with the decision here. But I actually don't know, James, truthfully. I am not an arbiter. I don't know how the rule book... And this looks like perhaps a handshake and a win for Martirosyan. I'm not familiar with how the rules shake down there, but I will say 5-6 pieces on the not set up properly while hitting the clock is probably on the higher scale of the infractions as far as
what just happened. So of course we have the game. Haik, Martirosyan, Magnus, they playing. Everything's all cool. You got people in the background, and then boom! What happened here, Ahmad? What is going on?
Well, you can see Wesley having a chuckle in the background here. Unfortunately, as Magnus goes to play rook to g3, he knocks all 4 center pawns over. And as he's trying to set them up here, he even places the white pawn back on the wrong square there on f4, you can see. And then in trying to place the other pawns on the board, he even knocks more pieces over. And to cap it all off, he's hit the clock during all this. And so you can see in a closer view here, he knocks every piece over. And what he's realizing is because it was like yesterday, he's now going to hit his clock because he knows time's going to expire if he tries to set them all up. But by hitting the clock, of course, now you're doing it on your opponent's time, and there's no way that Martirosyan's clock should be ticking. Notice the pieces are not even on the correct squares, pawn on f4, and by the time he gets things set up back correctly, I mean, so much time has ticked off Martirosyan's clock that you just have to sit there and say, you know what? You wouldn't have had time to set them up properly. There's way too many pieces all over the place. And ultimately, we can say, James, that the decision was rendered by the arbiter there, Chris Bird, and it was actually just accepted by Magnus in the end. Frustrating, but you have to accept that as a competitor. And Martirosyan, even slightly apologetic at the end. Of course, the result makes sense, but you never want to win a game like that.